Good morning, my dear students. My name is C. Stephen Neil Joshua. I am Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So, in the last lecture number 1, we have discussed about the history of Python, and next we have discussed about the need of a Python programming. So, coming to the lecture number 2, in the lecture number 2, we will talk about what are the various applications of a basic Python programming. And next we will talk about what are the features of a Python programming, and next we will talk about the language features of a Python programming. So remember, now we are discussing about a module number 2, that is a Python basics. Before going into the module number 2, I just want to summarize what I have taught you in my last class. In my last class, I have explained you the history of a Python. The author of a Python is a Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer. I have discussed you with about him. And next he has done his studies in University of Amsterdam, that I have told you. And next he worked in Google. After that he worked in a Dropbox. In the year 2019, he has resigned from the Dropbox. Now he is not working in any organization. Next we have discussed about what are the various versions of a Python programming. We have discussed about the Python 2.x, and we have discussed about the Python 3.x, and right now the stable version is 3.8.5, that is the stable version, remember that one. So these are the various things we have discussed, and next we have discussed about what are the various possibilities of learning a Python. I can say that all those are possibilities, or we can call it as an applications, or we can call it as what are the various use cases of a Python. So coming to the today's lecture, so these are my course contents. I will talk about the features of a Python, language features, and what are the various Python implementations. So coming to the features of a Python programming, I can say that my Python program is a simple and easy to learn. That is the first point you have to remember. My Python is a simple and easy to learn. Why I am saying that? For example, if you consider a C programming or a C++ or a Java programming, I'll write it down here. For example, coming to the C language, code, for example, I have to first of all write the header file, that is hash include stdio.h, This stdio.h is used for reading the input from a keyboard and displaying the output on a screen. And next one is hash include conio.h. So this is used to clear the output screen and to view the output on my console. And next one is my C program always starts from the main. We have already studied about C programming in our first year, but remember here, always the execution of any program starts from a main. So I have written the main, and next one is I have to declare a variables. I have taken two variables A and B. I have taken two variables A and B, and I have initialized some value 5 and 2. So since 5 and 2 are integer numbers, so the type here would be integer, int of A, int of B. So in my C or C++ or Java programming, whatever the variable I am taking, the associated type should be mentioned earlier, before only. That is the point you have to remember. And next one, since I want to add two numbers, what I will do is I'll take a one more variable int of c. So c is equal to a plus b. I am adding a and b value. Imagine whenever I have written int of a is equal to 5, what happens in my memory location? Think that this is my memory location. So in my memory location, a chunk of box would be reserved for me, and the address of that chunk is A, and inside that chunk I have placed a value 5, and next one is int of b is equal to 2 I have written. So in my memory, one more chunk would be created, and the address associated with that chunk is a b, and the value which is there inside a b is 2. So it is done. And next one, int of c, one more chunk has been created, and c, and inside that chunk by default there would be a garbage value. So whenever I am adding something, if there is a garbage value inside a c, then the 5 and 2 addition will be added to my garbage value. So in order to avoid these circumstances, what I will do is int of c is equal to, I will assign within a 0th value. Now right now there is a 0 inside my c. So I have written c is equal to a plus b, 5 plus 2, it is in a 7. Now my 7 will be there inside a c variable. So next what I will do, again I will write a printf addition is equal to %d comma c, and next one is return of 0, and I have closed my main. Here I have opened my main, and next one is here I have closed my main. I hope the program is clear for you because you have already studied about the C programming. But coming to when I show this program to a technical guy, he understands what I have written. But coming to a non-technical guy, if I shown him this code, then definitely he will lose interest to write a code. But coming to my Python code, Python is simple. Just no need to write down a header files, no need to write a conio.h, no need to write a main. I will open one interactive shell. My interactive shell starts with a 3 greater than symbols, and here I will write simply print of hello world, and my output will be printed. So the syntax of a Python program are very simple. Remember that one. So that is why a Python is a simple language. So if you observe the syntaxes of a Java program and a Python program, here you will understand it very easily. Observe carefully. First of all, I have to follow a Camlin case letters while writing a Java program. And next one here, the main I have written. And then I have to write a system.out.println. So first line, second, 3, and here my class has started, here my class has ended, and here my main has started, and here my main has ended. So I have to take care of all those things. But coming to the Python, instead of writing a completely this many lines of code, I will finish up with a one piece of code, one single instruction, I will wind up everything. So this is the beauty of a Python programming. So remember, the first feature of a Python programming is a simplicity. It is simple and easy to learn. And coming to the next one is, Python is an interpreted programming language. I have told you the first feature of a Python is a simple and easy syntax, and second one is a Python is a interpreted programming language. Why I am saying an interpreted programming language? Observe carefully. So my C C++ is a compiled languages, and Java is a compiled and interpreted programming language. Observe carefully. Here from the diagram I can clearly say that what's happening here is I have written one piece of a Python code. For example, A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. And next in the next line what I have done is print of A plus B. By looking at the program, you can easily tell me that I want to perform a addition of two numbers, isn't it? So coming to here, this Python code, this entire Python code will be given as an input to the syntax checker and a translator. So which is also known as an interpreter. Now my interpreter will take this code and it will convert the code into a byte code. So you may ask me, sir, what is a byte code? A byte code is a piece of instruction, a machine instructions, not in a zeros and ones format. A byte code is a instructions, and after translator will convert my English statements into a byte code, and now this byte code will be given as an input to my Python virtual machine. And now my Python virtual machine, what it does is it will give me the file in terms of zeros and ones. We already know that while studying a DLD or while studying a C programming, we already studied that my machine can only understand a zeros and ones format. So this is how a Python interpreter will work. And one more important point, Java is having a Java virtual machine, and Python is also having a Python virtual machine. That is why Python is called as a platform independent, but not a platform dependent. Remember this point. So I want to revise once again. The important features of a Python are, first one, Python is a simple and easy to learn, simplicity in short I can say. And second one, a Python is a interpreted programming language, but not a compiled language. Sir, what is an interpreted programming language? It is a simple, in short, if I want to say, a Python is an interpreted language because, for example, observe, this is my interactive shell. A interactive shell will always starts with a 3 greater than symbols. For example, I have written a instruction A is equal to 1. If I want to know the output happily in the interpreted programming language, happily I can see. How I can see? Simply write print of A, that is 1, this is my output, or simply I can write A and my 1 will be printed as an output. So in short, what I'll say is a 1 by 1 instruction can be executed in a interpreted programming languages. I'm stressing this point. 1 by 1 instruction can be executed in a interpreted programming languages, but coming to the compiled programming languages like C, C++ or Java, I have to write all the instructions. After writing all the instructions only, I can execute or I can compile, then after that I can interpret it. So this is the differences between a Python and C, C++ and Java. So coming to the next important point, Python is an object-oriented programming. This is one of the important feature. If you observe the graph here, in my Python, we are having a objects. Yeah, in the Python, we were having an object. Object is there. I can create a class. Inheritance is there. Polymorphism is there. Abstraction is there. And encapsulation is there. So these are the various important features of an object oriented programming. I am repeating, object is there, class is there, polymorphism is there, inheritance is there, abstraction is there, and encapsulation is there. So these are the various object oriented features. All these features I can happily use in the Python. So this is another important feature. And next one, coming to the other one is a portability. I just want to remind whatever the features I have told you. The first feature is Python is a simple, and second one is Python is an interpreted programming language. Third one is it is an object oriented programming, and next one now I am talking about a portability. So what is a portability? So observe this fish. So this fish is jumping from one position to the another position. That means portability in the sense I can, for example, I have developed one project on my local machine. On that local machine, I have used a Windows operating system. I have developed everything using a Windows operating system, that is a Windows 10. If I want to execute this project on another machine with a different operating system, happily I can do. So I have developed in a Windows operating system, and I have executed there, and even I have executed this project on another machine with a different configuration, with a different operating system also, my Python will be executed happily. So that is the reason why a Python is called as a portable language. Whenever, if I want to say in a simpler terms, most of the time we will go for mobile portability. That means from one network we are going to another network. So this is a mobile portability. In the similar way, I have executed and developed and my project on one machine with different configurations. Even I can execute this on another machine with different configurations. So this is nothing but a portability. And coming to the next important thing, that is a embeddable and extensible. So what is an embedded and extensible? So I will explain you with a diagram. For example, consider that this is my Python project. I am developing my project in a Python. So what happens is, I want a part of my project to be executed within a good time complexity. I want my program to be executed a bit faster in this part. So the faster languages right now, based on the time complexity is, C or a C++. These two languages, execution speed and time complexity are more. So what I will do is, I will use this part of a C or a C++ code on my Python. As a result, my execution speed will be increased. This is known as an embedded and extensible. I can extend my code to another platform as well. But remember one point, whenever I am bringing a part of a program to my Python program, here the platform independence may be missed. Remember that point, here the platform independence may be missed. So that is why a Python is called as a embedded and extensible. I just want to revise the features of a Python. In that, the first feature is a simplicity. The second feature is Python is an interpreted programming language. Third feature is Python is an object-oriented programming language. And next one is my Python is a portable language. And next one is a Python is a embedded and extensible programming language. And coming to the next important feature of a Python, that is a Python is having a libraries, a vast libraries, and it is an open source. For example, if I want to work out a math problem, I want to work on a math problem, what I have to do? Simply, for example, if I want to find out the square root of a number in a C programming or a C++, I have to develop the code from scratch. But instead of developing a code from scratch, here in Python, what I will do is, I will open up the interactive shell. After opening the interactive shell, what I will do is import math. I will import the math, and next one what I will do is print of math dot square root of 4, and my output will be 2. So this is the beauty. I mean 1, 2. In 2 lines, I am able to write each and every code happily. Why I am reducing my lines of code? Because here I am just importing the library. After importing the library, I will use that library in my code. So that is why a Python, one of the important feature is a libraries and a open source. For example, if you want to work with a machine learning problems, so what you will do, you will import a pandas, NumPy library into your code. If you want to work out with a computer vision, there you will use a computer OpenCV. If you want to use, if you want to work out with deep learning problems, you will import a Keras. So all these Keras, TensorFlow, scikit-learn, NumPy, pandas, all these are implemented in a Python. I just import those libraries into my Python and happily I will execute it. And next important thing is open source. That means the binary files and the source code are openly available in the website, that is www.python.org. I want all of you to visit this website. There you will find the Python bytecode and you will find the Python source code. So if you find out those 2 files, I can contribute my code for the development of a Python. So this is one of the feature of a Python. I just want to remind once again what are the features I have explained you. The first feature I have explained you is Python is a simple, and the second feature I have explained you is a Python is an interpreted programming language, and the third feature I have explained you is Python is a portable, and the next feature I have explained you is a Python is a embedded and extensible, and the next feature I have explained you is a Python is a rich source of a libraries, and a Python is a open source programming language. So happily I can, if you observe this visualization, you can say this visualization are done on a Python with a beautiful libraries. For example, if you want to create this kind of an attractive visualization, then in Python we are having one library, remember and note down that name, and the name of that library is a Seaborn. Seaborn is a library for the beautiful visualizations. So coming to the next important thing, we will talk about what are the various language features of a Python programming. So before going into the language features, I just want to explain a small program from a Java. So coming to the, or I'll explain with a C programming. So coming to my C program, I'll write my hash include stdio.h, and next one is hash include conio.h. These are the 2 header files, and next one is int of main, and next one is int of a comma b comma c, int of a comma b comma c. So next I will read the values. Scanf of percentile d, comma address of a comma address of b. So c is equal to a plus b, and next one is print of addition is equal to percentile d comma c. So get ch, and here I have opened my braces and here I have closed my brace. So this is the thing I will follow. So observe carefully. This type of syntax is known as a statically programming language. This type of a syntax which we are following is known as a statically programming language. So coming to the statically means beginning. Statically means beginning. So you may ask me, sir, what is beginning? So whenever in the statically programming language, whenever we want to do something, what we have to do is we have to declare a variables on the starting of my program itself in the statically programming languages. Remember this point. In the statically programming languages, everything we have to declare in the start of my program. After, in between, I cannot declare my variables. So this is how a statically programming languages will work. But coming to the, I want all of you to note down this one, note down this example. But coming to the dynamically programming language, I want all of you people to open a interactive shell in Python. Open an interactive shell. Remember that one. Always my interactive shell will start with a 3 greater than symbols. For example, I have declared one variable a is equal to 10. I have declared this. And remember in Python, I just want to all of you to remember this line. In Python, based upon the value given, the type will be decided. I'll write this sentence here. Remember this one. Based upon the value, the type will be decided by interpreter. I want you all to remember this point. Based on the value given, the type will be decided. Since I have given the value 10, the interpreter will automatically assign the data type to the variable a. Remember that one. So if you want to confirm yourself, go to Python shell and execute this command. So type of a. So type is a function, and in this function I have given one value. I have given a variable a. If you want to know what is the type of any variable in Python, I have to use a type command. Once after giving the type of a, my output would be visible. My output would be visible in between 2 curly braces and followed by class of int. this is the output I'll get it. If you want to confirm yourself, once execute this command in your ideal Python ideal shell. So what is the meaning of this sentence? If you ask me, remember in Python, each and every primitive type is an object. So the meaning of this sentence here is, whatever the value you have given here is of an integer type, since 10 is of an integer type, and this integer is an object, this integer is an object, remember this one, and this is belonging, this object, every object should belonging to some class, right, isn't it? So now this object is belonging to this class. I hope it is clear for you. And coming to the next important point, in the Python programming, here I have not declared any data type. That is the first reason why a Python is called as a dynamically and strongly typed programming language. And the second reason to be called a Python as a dynamically and strong typed programming is because, for example, I am continuing this program. I want to continue this program. Observe carefully. After this one, a is equal to 7.6. By looking at the value, we can say that 7.6 is of a float point representation, isn't it? I know that by looking at that screen, I am saying that 7.6 is a floating point representation. So remember that based on the value, the type will be decided by interpreter. So if you want to confirm yourself, again give a function type of a. So now my interpreter will give me a output that is class of float. Class of float. This is the output I will get it. So if you observe carefully, here I have created a two different values. The first one is a 10 and second one is a 7.6. First one is a 10 and second one is a 7.6, and I have placed these two values in one container, in one variable, that is a. So that is why a Python is called as a dynamically programming language, because under one name tag, this sometimes I will call it as a name tag. This can be called as a name tag in Python. Remember that in Python it can be called as a name tag, or it can be called as a variable, or it can be called as a variable. I hope it is clear for you why a Python is called as a dynamically a programming language. If you are familiar with a Java programming, here I am writing, for example, in my Java code, I have declared a variable and initialized with a value int of a is equal to 10, and in the very next line, if I assigned a is equal to bool, since bool is a is equal to, it is a is equal to true. Since we know that true is a Boolean data type, when I try to assign a Boolean data type to my primitive data type, then my Java compiler will raise an error saying that incompatible data type. Here Python doesn't allow a one data type into the same variable. But coming to the Python programming, here my Python program will happily accept a different values under a same name tag. So that is why a Python is called a dynamically typed and strongly typed programming language. So dynamically typed and strongly typed. So no type of association is there. A variable can hold any type of data. I have explained you that, and does not do implicit conversion. Here we are having a two type of type conversions. So type conversions are two types. type conversions are of two types. In that, type conversions are of two types. In that, the first one is implicit, and second one is explicit. So this I'll explain you when I'll talk about a data types. But as of now, remember this one. So coming to the type conversion, the type conversions are similar to the C programming concept. What are the concept we have learned in a C programming? The same concept will be applicable here as well in a Python. Remember that one. And next one is special data types. So coming to the data types, in order to discuss about the data types, it takes around two classes. Here in Python, integer is there and float is there, but double data type is not there. But here one more numeric data type has been added, that is a complex. I can happily do complex addition, complex multiplication, complex numbers addition, complex number multiplications. And along with that, here I can happily work out within a string data type. A new sequence of data types has been there: list, tuple, dictionary, and a set. All these are the new data types which has been introduced in a Python programming languages that we will discuss, that we will talk in detail. And next one is statement blocks. So coming to the Python programming, now if you want to know what is a indentation is, so observe my basic program here. For example, if I want to work with functions in a Python programming, what I'll do is, I will start my functions with a def keyword here, followed by the name of my function is f1, followed by colon, and next one I'll write is a printf, print hello world, print hello world. So this is one block and I have to call this function, isn't it? So calling will be done here, f1. So from here, this part is known as a calling function, and this part is known as a called function. This part is known as a called function. So this f1 will call this one, and after that, this line will be executed. If you observe carefully, here I have given a space, one tab space. This I am calling it as a indentation. So this I will talk with you in detail within a few examples, but as of now, remember this one. And next one is anonymous functions. Anonymous functions means a nameless function can be created in Python. And next one is dynamic name resolution. So memory wastage will be less in Python compared with other programming languages. And next one is support multiple programming paradigms. That means a functional programming I can use here, a modulus program I can use here, I can use a scripting language here, I can use a OOPS language here. What are the things I want, I can happily use it here. And next one is the last slide, that is in a Python implementation. So in that, the first one is, for example, there is a C program. I have written a 1,000 lines of a C program. I have written 1,000 lines of a C program. If I want to execute that in a Python, I can happily execute it. And this type of a flavor and this type of implementation is known as a C Python. Remember that one. I can happily execute the C program in a Python, and that implementation is known as a C Python. And coming to the next one, Iron Python. If you are interested to execute a C# program on your Python, and the implementation is a Iron Python. And next one is, if you are interested to execute your Java program on a Python, and the implementation is a Jython. And next one, if you want to match up the execution of your Python program with your C program, then there is a subset of a Python, and the name of that subset is a PyPy. Remember that one. For example, if you are a competitive programmer, so most of the competitive programmers, either they will go for a C programming or a C++. The execution of a C or CPP is very much compared with a Python. If a Python program want to compete with a C or a CPP, then the subset I have to use is a PyPy. And the documentation of a PyPy will be is available in the internet. So these all are the important Python implementations. And next one, it is an assignment time. Note it down. In that, the first question is list out all the features of a Python. That is the first thing. And next one, explain language features of a Python in detail. In my lecture number 3, I'll talk about these things. And coming to the next one, quiz. Backward compatibility is there in Python. Tell me yes or no. And coming to the next question is, raw, what is the difference between a print and a raw underscore input? So I want all of you to note down this quiz. In my next session, I'll talk about these things. And these are the various resources I have picked up from the internet sources. So that's all of lecture number 2. Thank you.